RoboZone is brought to you by First in Michigan, Michigan's premier provider of K-12 robotics programs. Lawrence Technological University, possible is everything. Consumers Energy, encouraging your inner genius. Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser, your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. And Fanuc America, the leading supplier of robots, CNCs, and factory automation. Hey everybody, you know what time it is. It's robotics season and you are tuned in to the only weekly show focused on high school robotics in the entire nation. Welcome to RoboZone. This year, presented by First in Michigan, I'm your host, Lauren Plant. We told you the second season was going to be bigger. We are now statewide on Fox Sports Detroit. Robotic experts Dan Kimura and Jim Zondag are here all season long breaking down this year's game and who's in it to win it. Today, we'll take a look back, meet some rookies and some perennial powers, but first, what is first? Let's find out.
So what we like to say in First is that we are the only varsity sport where every single kid on a team can turn pro. We try to make First as accessible as we can, both in terms of the location of the competitions, the financial help, the mentoring help. It's really just an amazing time to learn to play with the pros.
First is a nonprofit organization that has over 2,000 teams competing every year across the nation. Michigan is by far the most popular and successful state for FIRST Robotics, in part because students can get involved at a very young age, thanks to 4 different levels of play.
So our first one is kindergarten through grade 3. Then in late elementary school, which is grade 4 through the end of whatever their elementary in their district is, that is First Lego League. They play with an EV3 kit from Lego Mindstorms. Then in middle school, we have an exclusive program called the First Tech Challenge, and they are mentored by the high school kids. And they then want to move into our high school program.
Kids come in, they're interested in being on a team, and then it really gives them confidence as they're in that crucial age to know that they can become engineers, they can become computer scientists, things that they might have thought, oh, that's really hard. So it gives them confidence in that way. So that's what we appreciate about it.
First in Michigan is an all-volunteer organization. Anyone you talk to, anyone you see on a field, everyone is a volunteer. And the really great thing about it is that you have that moment when you see the kids at the beginning of the season that have never touched a wrench, that don't understand how mechanics work, that don't know anything about programming, and something goes off in their head, and all of a sudden they get it, and they're excited by it, and that passion starts to grow.
I say the teamwork. Just having fun with your friends and building.
Well, it's a really cool experience, and I think it would apply really well into today's world.
We get to have a lot of fun with each other on the board, and we just get to work together.
The one thing that I'd like everyone to know about First is that there's no school that can't do this. We will help you, we will help organize you, we will help you with grants, we will help you with a list of tools that you need. Anything and everything that you need, we're here to help. And that just keeps me coming back every single minute.
All right, we welcome back inside the mothership, Jim Zondag. Those in the know can see his team, the Killer Bees, in competition. He also takes the microphone to MC events very energetically, I might add. Jim was instrumental in helping us understand the world of high school robotics last year. So Jim, it's great to have you back for what is sure to be an outstanding season.
Thank you, Lauren. It's great to be back on RoboZone.
All right, well, let's start by looking back. The 2015 season. How do you talk about what was Recycle Rush?
Recycle Rush was a very interesting game. It was a departure from many of the games of the past. It was a very good technical challenge. It was a very good engineering challenge for many of the teams who participated. And we saw a very high level of capability from a lot of the top teams by the end of the season. And I think that'll set a lot of them up for this season, which is technically a very different challenge.
And how often do you see a team like Bedford Express dominate the way they did?
Almost every year we will have a few standout teams who really break away from the crowd and really win almost everything that they touch. Bedford had an exceptional year last year, and we expect that there'll be teams that follow in their footsteps again.
All right, Jim will be back to discuss this year's game a little later in the show.
Hey RoboZone fans, I'm Stephanie Funkhauser, and coming up we will reveal the new game for 2016. I also had the chance to attend the official game reveal watch party in Novi, and you won't want to miss the reactions we got from different teams. That's all next on RoboZone.
We want you.
We are Lawrence Technological University, and we don't want just anyone.
We want the brainiacs, visionaries, geniuses, and game changers. We want the students who will change the world through technology, science, business, and design.
So if you're ready to explore your possibilities,
We want you at LTU.
Lawrence Tech. Possible is everything.
Genius is not born. It's nurtured. It's curious. Genius takes teamwork, patience. It keeps going until that moment when it shines. Introducing the Generation Genius Project, a consumer's energy educational initiative to inspire a passion in science, technology, engineering, and math. Discover the genius in all of us.
Fundraising should be fresh, flavorful, and simple. We have the perfect solution at Hungry Howie's, Dough Raiser. Your nonprofit organization can sell paper pizza certificates that your customers can redeem for one medium pizza at participating Hungry Howie's locations. Go to doughraiser.com to learn about, sign up for, and order everything Dough Raiser. Request a Dough Raiser kit for your group today. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. Welcome to Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser.
Welcome back to RoboZone. Every year, teams wait with breathless anticipation as to what the game is going to be for that particular year. 2016 was no different. Now, before we show you this year's game, we sent Stephanie to find out what some competitors thought the game might be.
On Saturday, January 9th, teams from around the U.S. gathered for the official 2016 game unveil. Here in Michigan, teams set up fort at Novi High School, the first ever satellite location to hold a viewing of the first robotics game announcement. Excitement was high for this year's game.
Kickoff is like Christmas for robot people, you know. This is one of my favorite days of the year. We've been looking forward to this for months, and I mean, we meet year-round, but the excitement ramping up to this is really tangible.
For about 3 months before the game gets released, our team starts meeting again. We start fundraising for funds. We're always pumped to see what the game has in store for us. Like last year was quite the surprise with stacking totes and non-robot to robot contact as opposed to the usual defense game.
I got to see like the teaser animation, and we've been looking over the teasers all summer. And so I was in FTC for 2 years, so it's really exciting to be at, you know, a group with a lot of teams instead of just sitting in like a classroom or something watching the video.
And rumors were buzzing.
Well, a lot of people were considering like medieval themed ideas because it was all about castles. I personally thought we might be like building and destroying like little forts with our robots.
I'm pretty excited. I've also heard rumors that a moat is involved, so that could be interesting.
Everybody's kind of been thinking it's a medieval themed game. I'm personally pulling for robot jousting. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I think it'd be really entertaining.
The game last year didn't have any robot-to-robot contact, and a lot of the guys thought it was less exciting. So I know that we're looking forward again to a game with some head-to-head this year.
There's been some speculation that there's going to be some sort of like balancing or some sort of bridge type thing that there was in 2012. That's what some of the students think. I've also heard things like stronghold, you know, like medieval themed, all that type of stuff. Personally, I don't know about the theme and stuff, but we'll have to see what happens.
Of course, they were all way off. Just kidding. Without any further ado, here it is, Stronghold.
Welcome to the first robotics competition and the 2016 Tournament Challenge, First Stronghold. The Alliance quest is to breach the opponent's defenses, known as the Outer Works, weaken their tower with boulders, and capture it. The low bar in position 1 is permanent. The defense in position 3 changes periodically by audience selection. Opponents are savvy and will be strategically selecting the remaining 3 defenses to strengthen their outerworks while in line for their next match. There are more than 10,000 possible field configurations. Robots start in the neutral zone and may have 1 boulder each. Additional boulders will be placed on the midline and in each castle. Alliances may assign a spy bot to start in their opponent's courtyard and a human player to occupy the spy station to signal intelligence about activities on the far side of the field to their castle. The first 15 seconds of the match, the robots are autonomous and may earn points by reaching their opponent's outerworks, crossing defenses, and scoring boulders in goals. During the following 2-minute and 15-second teleoperated period, human drivers remotely control their robots. They retrieve boulders, overcome opponent defenses, and score boulders and goals from their opponent's courtyard. The first time a robot fully crosses a defense, some of the base lights will turn off, indicating that defense's strength is reduced. On the second crossing, all lights turn off, indicating that defense is considered damaged. Once any 4 of the 5 opponent defenses are considered damaged, the outerworks are breached and the Alliance receives points. Human players deliver boulders to their secret passage through their castle wall. Alliances may have only 1 robot at a time in their own courtyard to defend their castle. As boulders are scored, the tower loses strength. Once enough boulders are scored in the opponent's tower, the opponent's flag will drop, indicating the tower has been weakened and can now be captured at the end of the match by surrounding it. During the last 20 seconds, robots may extend to reach the tower rungs and scale the tower for additional points. If an alliance captures their opponent's tower at the end of the match, their flag is raised and the alliance earns more points. The alliance with the highest score at the end of the match earns the win.
So that is Stronghold, and this is the Experts Lounge. I'm here with a guy who really needs no introduction. Those who follow First in Michigan, they know Dan Kimura. Dan will be another first expert here with us all season. Dan, welcome to RoboZone.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here.
All right, we're glad to have you. Stronghold, first impressions of the game.
It's going to be a pretty crazy game. There's a lot on the field. We have 10 different defenses on the field, a large tower to score in, hanging bar, 6 robots, numerous boulders that they're going to be shooting into the tower to score. So it's just going to be a lot of stuff to watch.
So talk about the biggest challenge teams are facing right now with this game.
Well, there's a few unique challenges this year. They've got all these different things that they have to drive over, or through, or under. So that's really going to change the way they have to design their drivetrain. And the goal we're looking at, the high goal, is probably one of the harder targets we've had to shoot a ball through in the history of First.
And how about the fact that we are going to see robots hitting each other in this one, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. It's full contact. So there might be a few rules about high-speed ramming and things like that. So you can't hit robots with the intent to cause damage. But if somebody's lining up to take a shot, bumping the corner of the robot and spinning them out of the way is perfectly legal, and we're going to see a lot of that.
You'll get an inside look from this year's robot from the Killer Bees. Dan and Jim will talk about that specific bot in just a little bit, as well as break down our first team rankings of the year. But first, Stephanie was with several teams at the game reveal. Here are some first reactions.
After the game was officially unveiled, everyone was ready for action.
I think we want to do stuff with a robot that's really active. We want our robot to physically throw things, and we want to do something different. Not just move around. We want it to do actions that nobody has ever seen before.
I'm kind of excited to try to make our robot work around all the field configurations because it's going to be a struggle.
It's an element of many past games that they've thrown into this one. So we've been around for 10 years, so we got some of the experiences of those games, so we're looking forward to applying what we've learned in the past.
Either make an assist robot to help probably get other robots to the second layer, or maybe a catapult, a siege engine. There's a lot of possibilities this year.
We're going to be trying to be more defensive this year instead of attacking, so we're trying to get under the gate or whatever obstacle they get up for us, because they have so many different things to fight.
Rally your kingdom for First Stronghold 2016.
Hey guys, I'm Kiera Lancaster, and coming up on the show, not only do we have an awesome new and exciting game this year, but Michigan once again has the most new robotic teams in the country. So after the break, I head to rookie camp to see how these new squads will be jumping into the mix. Keep it locked right here on RoboZone.
For over 30 years, we've been the leading supplier of robots, CNCs, and factory automation to American manufacturing. We help companies reach production goals locally and globally with bringing manufacturing back to North America. Our innovative technologies provide world-class quality and efficiency. We train, educate, and develop highly skilled workers, harnessing the power of man and machine together. We are the future of manufacturing. We are FANUC America.
We want you. We are LTU, Lawrence Technological University, and is one of the nation's best schools for engineering, architecture, and technology. We don't want just anybody. We want students who are curious and driven, students who want to change the world through technology, science, and design. So if you believe that possible is everything, we want you at LTU.
It's not fair. Everyone knows Hungry Howie's created flavored crust.
Yeah, but other places are trying to take the credit.
Yeah, but telling the truth is easy. I'll go first.
Okay.
My spirit animal is a sea captain.
What?
I miss payphones.
Wow.
That lady that brings you cookies every Friday?
Oh, yeah.
I have a huge crush on her.
That's my grandma.
Huge crush.
Hey, everyone gets a free medium pizza on their next online order with coupon code FREE1. Now that's an idea.
Hungry Howie's!
Genius is not born. It's nurtured. It's curious. Genius takes teamwork, patience. It keeps going until that moment when it shines. Introducing the Generation Genius Project, a consumer's energy educational initiative to inspire a passion in science, technology, engineering, and math. Discover the genius in all of us.
Welcome back to RoboZone. I'm Lauren Plant. For the second straight year, Michigan has the most rookie teams in the country. So how does a rookie team know what they're getting into? We sent Kiera Lancaster to rookie camp.
Hi guys, I'm Kiera Lancaster and I'm here at the 2016 FRC Rookie Workshop. Now if the name didn't already give it away, this is a day for first-time teams to learn exactly what it takes to build a robot and get ready for competition. So throughout this day they're going to be jam-packed with information, so let's go see how they're doing. There are 74 rookie teams competing in FIRST Robotics this year, making Michigan the state with the most rookie teams for the third consecutive year. 20 of those teams are in attendance at today's workshop.
The Rookie Workshop is some of the first opportunities that our new teams in Michigan have. They're brand new. Many of them have never touched tools. They've never thought about how you put two pieces of metal together, what the profiles of the metal should look like. They don't know how to build assemblies. They don't know how to use even any of the hand tools that we've provided them with today. So for many of them, this is the first chance that they have to really get their hands dirty, starting to build a robot. So what you see in the morning is that everyone is so tentative. We asked the question, how many of you know what the tools are on the table? And I would say about half of the teams knew what some of the tools were, but there were teams that had never seen any of the things like a caliper or how to use it. So they start off very tentative and we start off slowly and they learn to use each of the tools, why they use it, what it's good for, how they can use it when they're building their robot at home and during the season. And so they start off, and the first time that they drill, it might take them 7 minutes to drill their first hole. And by the end, they are just wielding the tools and they are just empowered. So it's fabulous.
Here to assist the rookies are coaches and students from other teams. One of today's volunteers is Jane Jacobs from Team 469 Los Gorillas, and she sees no problem with helping the competition.
These teams are going to be our competition, but it's so much more fun to compete if everyone is doing their best.
The end goal of the Rookie Workshop is to get the teams to build an arm that will have the ability to launch items across the room, and it looks like they nailed it. This is only 1 out of 3 rookie camps happening this year, and we've seen so much talent here today. Make sure you stay tuned to RoboZone because we're going to be tracking these teams all season long.
Thanks, Kiara. Great story, and we are excited to cover these new teams. Now, you may ask, what kind of robots will these squads be building to compete in First Stronghold? We're headed to the end of build party for the Killer Bees to get a look at their robot and see what tricks they had up their sleeves for 2016.
I was blown away. This was an amazing game idea, I thought, and it was so cool to be with the whole team when we saw the reveal video. We all freaked out. We have pictures of all of our faces just in awe. We were so happy to see the game, and I think it's a great game, incorporating a lot of different ideas from past games.
My first idea was like, oh my gosh, how are we going to finish this in 6 weeks? It's very challenging to finish a robot in 6 weeks, especially planning, building, and actually getting it to work. I think we accomplished our goal this year.
With Stronghold being such an intricate game, that means the Killer Bees had to design a number of new features in order to effectively operate their robot.
The drivetrain is probably the one thing that has to be the most robust because there's so many obstacles you got to go over, and if that thing fails, then you just can't play the game anymore.
The most difficult aspect for us was finding a way to get the hanger working. We looked at several different ways. We probably spent every day looking at it, having different groups of people try different things, and eventually we'll see how it all works out.
We did a lot of prototyping to test different shooter designs, a lot of programming, a lot of long nights in the basement working to try to fine-tune everything, so it took a lot of time.
Now that the robot is in the bag, the focus has turned to competing in the arena and how to work with and defend against what other teams have designed.
The way to win a match is to get a breach and a capture, basically no matter what it takes, and we basically planned our robot to do both of those just by ourselves. So if we're with a partner that can do half of it, then that's great, we'll get more points in the end. But if we're paired up with like two teams that aren't so good, then we'll still try our best to get a breach and capture by ourselves then.
I think our robot is different from other robots because our shooter is stationary, so it doesn't turn. I know I've seen other robots recently, and a lot of them turn. Also, our collector system, I think, is unique. I haven't seen a lot of other collectors that are like this.
I'm excited to see everyone else's robot, really, because we've all had our own ideas. We've worked on the same idea for 45 days, and now that it's come to competition, we get to see everyone else's. We get to meet a lot of cool people from different teams.
Okay, welcome back inside the Experts Lounge. Lauren Plant, Dan Kimura back with us. All right, Killer Bees are bringing it. Tell me about this robot.
That's definitely an impressive robot. It looks like Dave created a robot that can pretty much do everything that this game has. The only thing left to be seen is how well it works at the competition.
What kind of modifications do you think we're gonna see here?
The low goal is kind of a bargain. There's good value there early in the season, being able to score a lot of balls quickly, maybe to get you the tower points. But that high goal shooting, teams are gonna have to refine their shooter over the course of the season. They're gonna have to find ways to make sure the ball goes in.
We've got just one segment left, and you won't want to miss it as Dan and Jim reveal their top 10 preseason rankings. See if your team made it and who they think the top competition will be in 2016, coming up next on RoboZone.
Your home for high school sports is Michigan's original high school sports show, State Champ. For over a decade, the multiple Emmy Award-winning State Champs covers all sports statewide, 40 weeks a year. Catch State Champs Sundays at 9 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit and StateChampsNetwork.com.
We want you.
We are Lawrence Technological University, and we don't want just anyone.
We want the brainiacs, visionaries, geniuses, and game changers. We want the students who will change the world through technology, science, business, and design.
So if you're ready to explore your possibilities,
we want you at LTU.
Lawrence Tech. Possible is everything.
For over 30 years, we've been the leading supplier of robots, CNCs, and factory automation to American manufacturing. We help companies reach production goals locally and globally with bringing manufacturing back to North America. Our innovative technologies provide world-class quality and efficiency. We train, educate, and develop highly skilled workers, harnessing the power of man and machine together. We are the future of manufacturing. We are FANUC America.
Welcome back to RoboZone. Time in the show that everyone's been waiting for. Dan and Jim are back in the Experts Lounge, and it's time to talk preseason rankings. So Dan, why don't you start us off by giving us a look at your top 10?
All right, Jim, here's my top 10. Coming in at number 10, 2337, the Engine Nerds. Number 8, 314, Megatron Oracles. And number 4, Team 27 Rush.
All right, that's a great list, Dan. Has a lot of similarities to mine, but here's mine. In 8th, I have Team 469, the Los Gorillas. In 7th, I have Team 2337, the Engine Nerds. And in the 4th place position, I have Team 548, RoboStangs.
So Jim, why don't you talk about some of the teams that you included over others?
Team 469, as you know, has gone through some leadership changes over the last couple of years.
And the other one I have is 1918, who is continually one of the best robots in the state of Michigan. I think they're from kind of the west side of the state out in Fremont.
Tell me about the Killer Bees and Bedford Express.
Yeah, Bedford Express, absolutely a great team. Last year, they were probably the best team in the state of Michigan. They won the state championship, had a great run at the world championship. But Jim, I think that you might be trying to avoid the appearance of bias here with the Killer Bees, your team, not putting them as high as I think that they belong.
All right, and finally, there is a consensus number 1 squad, the heroes of tomorrow, the hot team. Tell me why they are the team to beat.
The hot team historically has been one of the absolute top teams in the history of the FRC. 3-time world champion, 3-time state champion, and to quote another famous mentor in the FRC, always bet on hot.
We're talking about not just one of the best teams in the state of Michigan, we're talking about perhaps the best team in the entire competition.
Okay, gentlemen, we will have a lot to discuss over the course of the entire season. RoboZone is here for the next 7 weeks. That will also include our 1-hour state championship spectacular. For Jim, Dan, Stephanie, and Kiera, I'm Lauren Plant. We'll see you next week with highlights from the Southfield, Standish Sterling Central, Waterford, and Kettering University districts. So much more next week on RoboZone. RoboZone is brought to you by First in Michigan, Michigan's premier provider of K-12 robotics programs. Lawrence Technological University, possible is everything. Consumers Energy, encouraging your inner genius. Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser, your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. And FANUC America, the leading supplier of robots, CNCs, and factory automation.